a great moment for Drew Galloway. He earned this. The only thing that sucks is that it's not recognized by PW Insider or Pro Wrestling Illustrated. That's what I'm thinking about. It's not known by a professional deal, but at the same time, he can now join the list of so many greats that have held that title. The Kurt Angles, the Stings, the Mick Foleys, the I'm trying to remember, the Jeff Jarretts, the Ravens. So many people have held on to that title, even going back to the NWA TNA days. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. So many great people have held that title, and now Drew Galloway just makes that championship so much more prestigious, and he makes it that much more amazing. It was, again, guys, just one of those moments where I just thought to myself, thank you. Oh, man. TNA has finally made me feel like I can be happy, and I can be feeling great about their product. And their ratings did indeed go up. They went to at least, I think, 370,000 compared to what they had to go through last week, which was horrible. It was only 200 or some 230,000, I think it was. I can't remember exactly what. Anyway, so let's go into NXT, you guys. Let's talk about NXT. Let's talk about, hey, we're going to enjoy everything that went down. Oh, boy. I had my results on here, but it's not getting through. Because I want to kind of go through a bit of the deals that went down as far as the event. Otherwise, I can just, you know what, whatever. It's not letting me do it. So I'm just going to talk about some of the things that happened majorly, which also included 3 NXT TakeOver matches that were announced. We saw the NXT Tag Team number 1 contenders match between the Vaudevillains and American Alpha, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. Great matchup between the two. I would not expect anything less from these two teams. They beat the living hell out of each other, but in the end we see the American Alpha pick up the victory, and they are going to NXT TakeOver Dallas. It is going to be a great showdown between these two teams, and I think it's going to be the first time that these guys have ever really faced off against each other. It is going to be a tag team war between these two. If you thought the matches between Enzo and Cass and the Revival were amazing, you have to imagine how these matches will be at TakeOver. We also found out that who's going to compete for the NXT Women's Championship after a grueling tag team match between Asuka, Bayley, Eva Marie, and Nia Jax. And by gruesome, I mean basically Eva Marie almost got just slaughtered at the end, and I was so happy. It ended with Bayley going for the cover on Eva Marie after a nice maneuver, but Nia Jax went for the leg drop and got Eva Marie by accident, quote unquote. And then we saw Eva Marie get kicked in the back by Asuka, followed up by a Bayley to belly by Bayley. 1, 2, 3. Matchup was over. Asuka and Bayley are victorious. And that's when William Regal came out and he says that I needed to find a worthy contender, and I found it. It is indeed going to be Bayley one-on-one with Asuka at NXT TakeOver Dallas. Bayley, I am proud to say that I saw you wrestle, but there is going to be possibly a funeral at NXT TakeOver Dallas when Asuka, gets her hands on you. I mean, you look at all these other matches that Asuka has had. These could just be like precursors of what could happen at NXT TakeOver Dallas, and how much more focused she will be in this matchup, because these were just matches where she was just trying to earn her spot. Now that she's finally earned that spot, can you imagine what she's probably going to do to Bayley at NXT TakeOver? It is indeed going to be a matchup worth watching, you guys. Definitely check it out. It's going to be next week, Friday. It's going to be March 25th is when NXT not 25th. What am I thinking? Fucking April 1st. It's April 1st. Why am I even talking about that? I am horrible at promoting right now. We also found out that Sami Zayn will indeed have what is possibly his last match with NXT, his send-off matchup, and who will he be facing? one of the biggest legends in Japanese history. He is going to go one-on-one with Shinsuke Nakamura, the King of Strong Style. Oh my gosh. My heart is still racing thinking about that. You thought that, Austin Aries debuting was something. Him against Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, you have to believe that this is just going to be a very stiff, very just amazing fight between these two guys. I am looking forward to seeing it. It is going to be a great matchup. Definitely check it out. All right, so we go from that to the fact that my phone is acting up again. There we go. We're going to go into a SmackDown deal where I'm going to go by a couple of the results. I have not gotten a chance to watch the the full deal, but I do know basically what has went down, and the main event was indeed amazing. I did indeed catch the main event, and it was honestly so awesome. I can only imagine what the Toronto fans had to go through when they had that 30-minute Iron Man match. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But we go into the first deal, which starts off with Roman Reigns putting Triple H on notice. He comes out, and he is just livid. He is ready just to fight. He just gives a great promo. It was honestly one of those promos that I thought to myself, okay, I would be scared to be Triple H right now because this guy looks like he's just going to tear his head off. And honestly, it was great. The only thing that I would just take out of that promo would be the fact that he used a repetitive, I can. That was the only thing that I did not like about that promo. Other than that, the promo was great. I felt the passion. I felt the fire. I felt the energy within it. It was awesome. And I am now really looking forward to seeing what Roman Reigns does to Triple H at WrestleMania in just a few weeks. All right. We had a matchup between the Ohio Superiors. We found out who was Ohio Superior's son when The Miz took on Dolph Ziggler. When it was a very interesting matchup. Very, I wouldn't say match of the night quality because everybody knows what the match of the night was last night. So Miz came up to Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler hit a super kick. 1, 2, 3. Ziggler gets the victory. Dean Ambrose was actually doing a lot of promos talking about his matchup with Brock Lesnar. Great to see him kind of, come out of his own and just, again, completely being entertaining. He just is one of those guys that I'm looking forward to seeing. And the fact that he is, again, showing this side is really going to show that he's going to be not only great in the ring, but he's going to be a very worthy adversary for Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. We also saw a bit of a Horsewomen reunion in which we saw Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte in the ring, where Charlotte apparently wanted to come out and just, talked a little bit about their history, a little bit about their backgrounds, and talked about how, she called them the Horsewomen. And that apparently she was apologizing for ever calling them the Horsewomen. Becky Lynch cutting another great promo. So Sasha, they tried to get Charlotte, but unfortunately Ric Flair intervened, and they got out of Dodge. Meaning Charlotte did, and Ric Flair, I guess. So, we had the New Day coming out, cutting another funny promo. Not too much really worth to talk about. But we also saw Wade Barrett going one-on-one against, let's see here. I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, it was Wade Barrett taking on Kofi Kingston one-on-one. And then we saw, I'm trying to remember what it was exactly. Let's see here. This allowed the New Day partner to send Sheamus from the squared circle with a kick to the midsection before rolling up his opponent and grabbing a handful of tights to score the victory. Okay, so he beats Wade Barrett with a roll-up. Great. And apparently they also wanted to make a matchup at WrestleMania. They're going to make it a 4-on-3 handicap match at WrestleMania. They're accepting the challenge for they were sending a challenge. They were accepting the challenge that the that the League of Nations had for WrestleMania. I honestly, if they're going to make it for the tag team titles, I think that this matchup's going to lose so much of its quality. Because here's the thing about it. They've already beaten the League of Nations twice. So it's like, why do they get another opportunity at the New Day? Why would they get another tag team opportunity, period? Because they haven't really done anything. My thought was that I wanted to see, no offense to anybody in this, Xavier Woods get taken out by the League of Nations, and it would seem like it was going to be a 2-on-4 handicap match. But, week before WrestleMania happens, or maybe even WrestleMania night, they say, we do indeed have, 2 more partners that we have. And Xavier Woods, he could be like a little bit battered. He could have like a little funny cast, or you could have something like that. And then, they could just say like, we only got one question for you. How you doing? And then you get Enzo and Cass coming out, and they are the tag team partners of the New Day. They pick up the victory at WrestleMania, because that way, hey, New Day gets a victory. Enzo and Cass still look great on the WrestleMania matchup. And it would work because then you could still kind of work an angle in with the Enzo and Cass New Day deal, because you could still make, New Day go back to being heel and have Enzo and Cass still be babyface. Because right now, New Day is kind of the tweeners right now. So that would be my opinion on that. But that being said, I would not hate the idea of having Enzo and Cass debuting the night after WrestleMania. But I would like for them to come up sooner. I think they definitely need the star power at this point. Alright, and then we saw Kevin Owens going one-on-one with AJ Styles in a phenomenal, no pun intended, main event, in which we saw Jericho unfortunately get involved. Kevin Owens took advantage of that distraction, hitting AJ with the pump-up powerbomb, getting the 1-2-3, and that is indeed it for AJ Styles. And Jericho, just of course, hitting a choke breaker, hitting his code breaker, mocking AJ Styles, and just, saying to the fans, AJ Styles, AJ Styles. God, I love Jericho as a heel. Also, it was actually announced during this event that we would see Kalisto go one-on-one against Ryback for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. I'm interested in seeing how this matchup goes. I love the idea of how Ryback is a monster heel, and I love the idea that Kalisto is going to probably be the underdog going into this. I think that Kalisto deserves a better challenge, and that Ryback's definitely going to do that. A little bit of talk about what happened on Raw. Again, Neville got injured. He fractured his ankle and his shin, and unfortunately he is going to be out for 2 to 3 months. However, thankfully he is not going to need surgery, seemingly. Unfortunately, he will indeed be missing out on WrestleMania. That is a very sad thing to see, but there's really not much that we can do about it, and I feel so bad for Neville. Neville, again, I am hoping, praying that you have a speedy recovery and that you can come back to entertain the audience so much more, because you are indeed a true superstar, and he's honestly been, praised by a lot of people. He continued that matchup even with that broken bone, and that just shows you the tremendous, will to fight that Mr. Neville has. Well, guys, that is going to wrap it up for Pro Talk Wrestling. Thank you so much for joining in. Now, I want to say this before I go, that the offer from AJ's Belts actually expires this Sunday at 11 p.m. Central Time. What this offer is that if you purchase a Premier World Title Belt, United States Title Belt, or the Premier MMA Title Belt, you go to the checkout and you comment that you listen to this broadcast of Pro Talk Wrestling, and you will get $100 back. That is right. You are basically getting $100 off on this deal, guys, but it's only for a limited time. Go to ajsbelts.com. Remember, this offer expires this Sunday at 11 p.m. Central Time. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And as always, stay positive, because there are more things to be thankful for and more things to smile about than there is to frown. Well, that is until March 27th. Then I'm just going to let it all out. So thank you guys for joining me.